Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanishalaakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet. In this session we will be discussing from the 50th, 51st and 52nd verses of the 7th chapter of the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. The 50th verse, Nakula Sahadevascha Yuyudhano Dhananjayaha Bhagavan Devaki Putro Ye Chanye Yascha Yoshitaha. The meaning of this 50th verse, Nakula and Sahadeva, the younger brothers of the king, and also Satyaki, Arjuna, the personality of Godhead Lord Sri Krishna, who is the son of Devaki, and the ladies and others all unanimously agreed with the king. Here the king refers to Yudhishthira. After this verse is spoken, after Draupadi told Arjuna not to kill Ashwathama, and it is described that Yudhishthira fully supported Draupadi's decision not to kill Ashwathama, and now Yudhishthira was further supported. That means Draupadi is being also supported not only by Yudhishthira but Nakula, Sahadeva and Satyaki. Satyaki is the chariot driver of Krishna. He belongs to the Yadu dynasty. And Arjuna agreed with Draupadi. Yes, what Draupadi is telling is correct, even though Arjuna wanted to kill Ashwathama. And even Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the son of Devaki, he also agreed with Yudhishthira, who was supporting Draupadi's decision. And the ladies and all others unanimously agreed with the king. Now kindly note here, practically everyone is mentioned except one person, that is Bhima. In the 51st verse, we will see why Bhima's name is not mentioned. The 51st verse, Tatra aha amarshitaha Bhimaha tasya shreyan vadhasmritaha na bhartur natmanascharthe yo ahan suptan shishun vritha. Now about Bhima, what is being said here? The translation of this 51st verse. Bhima, however, disagreed with them and recommended killing this culprit who in an angry mood had murdered sleeping children for no purpose and for neither his nor his master's interest. See Bhima's reasoning. Bhima disagreed with everyone else. For what reason? Because Ashwathama is a culprit. He has committed a crime. And what kind of crime? In an angry mood, he had murdered sleeping children, the 5 sons of Draupadi. And he had done it for no purpose. What was his gain by doing it? his specific gain, nothing. And for neither his nor his master's interest. It is not even in his interest that he had killed the 5 sleeping sons of Draupadi. Neither Duryodhana was pleased with this act of Ashwathama, because as soon as Ashwathama killed them, he took the 5 heads which had been chopped off and presented them to Duryodhana, thinking that Duryodhana will be pleased. But Duryodhana was not at all happy about it. He thoroughly disapproved of this and said, this is totally abominable. So Duryodhana did not approve it at all. Ashwathama was fighting on the side of Duryodhana, so he thought Duryodhana will be pleased, but Duryodhana was not at all pleased by it. So for whose interest had he done it? That's what Bhima is questioning. For whom? Whose sake? It was not his interest, it was not his master's interest. And what other purpose can simply be somebody killed like that? By whom? By Ashwathama, who is fighting in a dharma yuddha on religious principles. It is totally against all religious principles. And even if, let us say, somebody violates a religious principle, for whose benefit is it being done? Nobody's benefit. Nobody's benefit. And he had done it in an angry mood. When somebody becomes angry, then they lose their sense of discrimination. Anger actually makes a person lose his intelligence. Anger makes a person lose his intelligence. So, Bhima is pointing out that this Ashwathama, he deserves to be killed because he's a culprit. Don't spare his life. And then the 52nd verse, it describes when Bhima said this, then the reaction of Krishna. The 52nd verse, Nishamya Bhima Gaditam Draupadyascha Chaturbhujaha Alokya Vadanam Sakhyuhu Idamaha Hasanniva. The meaning of this verse is Chaturbhuja. Now, the 4-armed personality or the personality of Godhead, Chaturbhujaha. After hearing the words of Bhima, Draupadi and others, now Bhima and Draupadi's words are contradictory. Chaturbhuja, the personality of Godhead, saw the face of his dear friend Arjuna and he began to speak as if smiling. Now, what is Arjuna's position? That's what Krishna is considering. Arjuna has captured this Ashwathama, brought him to his own camp, and he had bound him up like an animal because he was a culprit. He had arrested him. But now Draupadi is telling Arjuna, don't kill him. And she gave her reasoning. And Yudhishthira fully supported Draupadi. And everyone except Bhima did support Draupadi. But Bhima disagreed. So, what is Arjuna supposed to do? Bhima is not agreeing to let go this Ashwathama, to be excused. And Draupadi is telling, don't kill him. And what is Arjuna supposed to do? So, Krishna is looking at Arjuna, his friend, his dear friend. And Krishna is now going to speak something very, very significant to Arjuna. And Krishna is also smiling because he can understand the dilemma Arjuna is having, that on the one hand Draupadi is telling don't kill and Bhima is telling he should be killed, and Arjuna had taken a vow to kill. All that will be mentioned by Krishna. So in the purport, Srila Prabhupada says, Lord Sri Krishna has 2 arms. Krishna is Dvibhuja. And why is he designated as four-armed? Chaturbhujaha. Krishna is being referred to as Chaturbhujaha in this verse specifically. Why? That is explained by one of our acharyas, Sridhar Swami. So Srila Prabhupada is quoting Sridhar Swami. Sridhar Swami is telling, both Bhima and Draupadi held opposite views about killing Ashwathama. Very clear. Bhima wanted Ashwathama should be killed, and Draupadi said, don't kill him. So opposite views of Bhima and Draupadi. Bhima wanted him to be immediately killed, whereas Draupadi wanted to save him. So, Srila Prabhupada says, quoting Sridhar Swami, we can imagine Bhima ready to kill while Draupadi is obstructing him. And in order to prevent both of them, the Lord discovered another two arms. Originally, the primeval Lord Sri Krishna displays only two arms. Dvibhuja Rupa. Manusham Rupam. That's what is described in the Bhagavad Gita. But in his Narayana feature, he exhibits four hands. In his Narayana feature, he resides with his devotees in the Vaikuntha planets, while in his original Sri Krishna feature, he resides in the Krishna Loka planet far, far above the Vaikuntha planets in the spiritual sky. This is explained elsewhere, that beyond this material universes is the spiritual sky. And in that spiritual sky, there are many, many spiritual planets. Now, the spiritual planets are called Vaikuntha Loka, free from all anxiety. It's the abode of the pure devotees of the Supreme Lord. In all the Vaikuntha planets, the Supreme Lord is present as the predominating deity in his form as Narayana, four-handed form, Narayana. But above the Vaikuntha planets, among all the spiritual planets, one particular planet is called Krishna Loka. It's also called Goloka Vrindavana. In that planet alone, the Supreme Lord is present as Krishna in two-handed form, and Krishna is the predominating deity of Krishna Loka. Of course, Krishna and Narayana are one person, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But still, there is distinction also. So, here, if Sri Krishna is called Chaturbhuja, there is no contradiction, because Krishna only expands as Narayana. If need be, Krishna can display hundreds of arms as he exhibited in this Vishwarupa shown to Arjuna. He can display any number of arms. Therefore, one who can display hundreds and thousands of arms can also manifest four arms whenever required. So this is the explanation given by Sridhar Swami. But Krishna only displayed two more arms in this situation. So therefore, the Supreme Lord is now sympathizing with Arjuna, that Arjuna is in a dilemma. He is not. He is getting contradictory suggestions. Draupadi telling Arjuna, don't kill him, and Bhima is telling he must be killed because he is a culprit. For no purpose he has killed the sleeping sons of, murdered, not just killed, murdered the sleeping sons of Draupadi. Neither his interest nor his master's interest is being served by this killing, so he deserves to be killed. This is Bhima's opinion. And what is Arjuna supposed to do? So Krishna is looking at Arjuna and he is sympathizing. Therefore, he is also smiling at Arjuna. Now Krishna is going to speak to Arjuna something. That we will see in the next verse. I'll stop here. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.